Hi everybody, my name is Tyler Blackwell here for another edition of Rostie Talks. Today we're going to dive into the exciting world of cryptocurrencies. It's taken headlines over the last maybe 6 to 8 weeks, particularly with Bitcoin. So today I've got Roberto Sanabria here with me. Roberto is the CEO of Cryptoducation, and they offer workshops to teach everyday people as well as financial advisors in the professional world all about cryptocurrencies and specifically Bitcoin and some of the other players in the market. Roberto, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Tyler. I really appreciate your time and the opportunity to be in the show.
So over the Christmas holidays, there was a lot of chatter about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. It seemed to have taken over the conversation around the dinner table. First and foremost, just tell me in the most basic sense, what is a cryptocurrency and what is a Bitcoin?
Basically, a Bitcoin is a digital asset. So one of the first digital asset that was ever developed and transmitted for the first time in January 2009. Satoshi Nakamoto, it's an alias, or it could be someone, but no one has found him or her yet. It appears to be Asian or Japanese, but nobody knows, right, to be honest. However, this great technology was first transmitted, as I said, it's a first digital asset, and it's global in nature, so you can send it through the internet.
Wow. And now you say a global asset, so could you tell me the difference? Is it like a share? Are you buying a share in Bitcoin, or tell me how the common person goes about it?
Bitcoin it's like, think of it as something that is digital. Like when you create a Word document, you're creating a document, a piece of software that is digital, lives in zeros and ones, right? Bytes in your computer. But unlike creating a Word document, that you can copy many times over. You send it on an email, and when you send it, you keep a copy. And the person who receives it can create a copy and forward it to 1,000 people.
Right.
However, with digital assets, and that's the challenge that Satoshi and the developer team created, they were able to create an asset that cannot be copied. That you cannot copy. And you don't need to buy the full, if we talk about Bitcoins, but a Bitcoin can be divided in millions of, or subdivided in millions of like mini Bitcoins. They call Satoshis, and actually it's not a million, it's actually 8 decimal points to the left.
Oh wow, okay.
So it's like, yes, you can buy different fractions of a Bitcoin, depending on what the Bitcoin price is, that's kind of the fraction you're gonna buy. Right?
Okay,
that brings a lot of flexibility. And this is kind of the things that we teach indoor workshops that we are doing, that we're catering to these, anyone who is interested in learning about Bitcoin, and not just Bitcoin, but the technology underlying Bitcoin, which is digital ledger technology or distributed ledger technology, for short, or blockchain. As also you have heard it or see it in the headlines.
I've heard the name. I've heard the word blockchain before.
So blockchain. In our workshops, we take you through basics of blockchain and in a hands-on manner. And this is very unique in Canada because no one is doing it. And what I discovered is people are hungry to learn, but they are not willing to spend many hours, and they don't have the many hours to go and school themselves or go to another institute and spend a weekend or spend more time. So what I'm doing is short bits of basically 3 to 6 hours workshops for executives that they can learn the basics, but you learn by doing. You'll actually be walking out, for instance, on the Bitcoin workshop, buying your first fraction of a Bitcoin, or whatever you feel comfortable buying.
Yeah.
When we speak about other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, you will walk and you will buy Ethereum. So you not only buy it, we'll teach you how to store it, we'll teach you other things to do with that digital asset, because nowadays it's what you see in the headlines is something, but we are not used to dealing with digital assets altogether, let alone like now that are worth money, right? And the more they're worth, the more you got to be careful on how do you store them, what do you do with them, how do you access them, how do you transmit them, right?
So just to clarify then, there is another form of cryptocurrency other than Bitcoin. I believe you called it Ethereum.
Yes.
What's the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin, if you don't mind?
Oh, great question. So this is exactly what is also, it's addressed in one of our workshops, and we have so we take you all the way from blockchain, then we go into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the mother of all the other
Gotcha.
right? It's the first one that was created. So once we understand Bitcoin, then we take you to Ethereum, for instance, and then we go into a comparison of what makes Bitcoin and what makes Ethereum so unique, right? They're different in a sense because Ethereum is more of a platform, think of it, a platform to create other cryptocurrencies.
Gotcha, okay.
It's a blockchain within a blockchain, okay? It has another blockchain. But Bitcoin, that doesn't operate that way. What is so unique about Bitcoin, for instance, is that it's scarce. It's under 21 million Bitcoins ever going to be created globally.
And what do they do afterwards?
So, because it's all a mathematical algorithm, right? And it's all programmed since inception. So we know for a fact that under 21 million Bitcoins ever going to be created up to the year 2140. After that, it's just going to be circulating the same amount of Bitcoins.
Okay.
So that's kind of the, again, it's like gold, right? Like, that there is certain reserves in the globe, the world about gold, and you cannot mine more gold. You cannot create it artificially, right? And that's what, has some intrinsic value, right? In this case, this digital asset, we know that it's finite, and we know that there is a limit, and you better get a hold of it before it's too late. And even a fraction, it's good, right?
So if I was to go buy Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, what can I do with it afterwards? I mean, I know it's a digital asset, but again, I can't go to the supermarket and buy my groceries with Bitcoin. I can't go on Amazon and purchase any items of using my Bitcoin. So what is the benefit of the everyday person to go ahead and buy cryptocurrencies?
Great question. Right now, cryptocurrencies, let's remember that Bitcoin is going to be 9 years since it launched, right? And Ethereum, it launched in 2015. So, 2-3 years. So still it's on they haven't matured, if we call them like that. And with so many people coming into the Bitcoin network, of course, there is a surge on price, there is a surge of everything, and people are asking the same question. Right now, I can say that Bitcoin has been used more as a store of value than as a transactional. Now, it doesn't mean it's not laying the pathwork to evolve and become more of a transactional means of payment, right? Now, there is a roadmap, and this is kind of what we cover also when you come to the workshop.
Yeah.
We'll share what's the roadmap of how Bitcoin is doing through their ecosystem. It's planning to create a new layer to allow transactions to happen so rapidly. Right now, just to give you an idea, Bitcoin can be transacted, or Bitcoin network allows for between 5 to 7 transactions per second.
Gotcha.
Okay, so 5-7. It's very low compared to, let's say, 1,000 that Visa network, or 5,000 that Visa network can handle. But knowing that it's global, and Visa is not yet global, it's accepted in many places of the world, but it's not as global and open as a Bitcoin system is. So Bitcoin is working, of course, diligently to be able to scale up, to do not thousands, but even millions of transactions, and same roadmap exists for Ethereum. So as it's a gradual adoption today, or I would say 2017 marks the first year when Bitcoin is starting to make the headlines and to start with the early adoption. 2018, I would expect to be more of a more widely spread adoption. And that with that wider spread adoption, then those new technologies will emerge likely to help you do more with your Bitcoins. There are other places in the world that's also what we're going to cover. Because after we teach you Bitcoin, Ethereum, we'll take you into, okay, what things can you buy, right? Where do I go? If I want to buy something, well, we'll tell you some, I purchase things, services, from airline tickets that you can buy to gadgets and stuff using your cryptocurrency with it.
So I think I was just going to ask you where you think a long-term goal would be, but I mean, you kind of just answered my question. Is you're going from a very unknown piece of asset to something that could be very well used on a day-to-day basis by the human race, we'll say, because it's so global. Now, tell me a little bit about Cryptoducation. How long have you been around for? Are you hosting workshops on the weekly basis? Tell me more.
Sure, thank you. And well, Cryptoducation is fairly young, started this year. I've been doing these workshops already for the last few months already, towards the end of the year in October, and it's been great success. So basically, it's catering to people who want to gain confidence. They come with a lot of questions because right now the technology is in early adoption. Right. But if you want to be a disruptor, you want to be at the forefront of technology and really free yourself from somehow the current system, that you learn how to take care of your own money.
Yeah.
That is kind of what the workshop is designed for, right? Get that confidence, hands-on on getting into cryptocurrency, understanding blockchain, not just go with what's in the headlines and what everybody's talking about, right? These courses or these workshops are designed in 3-hour chunks because the span of time that people have is very limited as well. And I take them through a curriculum that's about 18 to 20 hours of different subjects, and it's how-tos. I'm not dealing with more of a technical aspect of it. Like, I will give you resources. So if you want to learn more, of course, you have the links to go into the more technical aspect. I've had people from banks. I've had people from consulting companies, digital marketers. I've had different professionals pretty much attending and really, again, opening to this new idea, breaking paradigms. And again, it's about these 6 courses that you can take. Now, we're organizing with in these beautiful state-of-the-art installations, the upcoming workshop we'll have 2 options. So what we understood is people are also very busy. So we're offering a Monday, Tuesday workshop that is going to be comprised blockchain, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. And even the key of, well, what are the new coins that are happening that you still need Bitcoin or Ethereum to buy them, to get into those ICO, right? Like people see what's an ICO. We'll speak about that in the workshop. And then, so that's Monday, Tuesday. And those for those like 6 to 9 in the afternoon, like after work. But for those that are not available those times or have different commitments in January already, so we're opening another group on Sunday.
Gotcha, okay.
Right? Sunday kind of midday, like noon to 6 hours. So in this case, we're comprising 2 instead of 2 or 3 hours. We'll do 1 6 hours.
Gotcha, okay. So that may work. Yeah, you're right. That may work a little bit nicer for those who have to get home quicker after work. I mean, you can dedicate a Sunday to come in. Google has a lot of answers out there. Can you please let me know why somebody would look to a workshop much like yourself, as opposed to just going on Google and trying to figure it out on their own?
Certainly. And I guess the best thing is no one has all the answers, even Google. But this is so new that still, and people come with a lot of questions. So the more you learn, you will realize that the more questions you get.
Right.
And sometimes people get stuck with, trying to follow the steps and something doesn't work and breaks down.
Yeah.
Or you don't have the software correctly, or you fall prey to a scam. And unfortunately, there are a lot of scams. So basically, these workshops that I put together with the team allow you to, it's all proven, number one. So those are proven institutions, proven systems that I share with you, and you can repeat. And they know that they're not necessarily going to be scams because they have proven.
Of course.
I've tested them.
Yeah.
Everything that we teach you from all the way from the knowledge to buying to selling to trading to crypto mining, I've been doing that. So I know all the way. The other thing is, again, you may find other websites or that Google answer may give you more questions than answers. So in average, what we have found is each workshop of 3 hours will give you 10 to 20 hours worth of self-study for you. So even you make the investment of coming to 1 or 2 workshops or these ones that are comprised. At least you will walk out with 30 hours of in 6 hours it would be the equivalent of doing 30 hours of your own self-learning.
Interesting.
Right? And you have a coach, right? Like later on, that you can ask questions. We do a lot of communication and collaboration with the rest of the group, right? So that's kind of what is neat,
right?
An old-fashioned way. Like even though this is like you're at the top of the technology, but I like the pretty much the old-fashioned personalized approach, and it's all hands-on. Again, you got to bring your laptop or your tablet so we can do this training, and it's the most.
That's something that you couldn't do in your own living room because you don't have that application or the direction to be able to.
You get lost in the steps, and to be honest, there are like many of the applications when I started this over 2 years ago, I had to do with a command line. Like there wasn't a nice version of a Windows sort of like you have to do like commands and you had to do some coding. People don't know that, right? And it's impossible to do massive adoption of a new technology with using command lines. Right? And that's kind of why some technologies get adoption faster than others because they invest in building that the user front end that is easy to operate, right?
Now I think just to build on your point there, what are some of the difficulties that you're sort of inheriting offering these workshops, knowing that on a day-to-day basis or maybe a week-to-week or month-to-month, that what cryptocurrency is today may be completely different a week from now because of the ever-changing, we'll say the prices for Bitcoin have been in the news, going from under $1,000 a share up to 22,000 and then back down to 15. So are you finding any difficulties in operating your workshops, knowing that there is that piece of unknown?
Well, first of all, one of the challenges that I faced for my workshops was to find a very good location, right? And being in the Rostie group, that certainly addresses because it's easy to locate and it's pretty much in the middle of the financial district, right? Of Toronto. So it's very well located for people that deal with a lot of transactions and want to learn, about what's the best of the technology. Second question that I get as well is what's happening with the price, right? And that is also addressed first hand on the workshop.
Perfect.
I teach you the basics, and when you understand the fundamentals of the technology, about the coin, then you understand what is truly driving long-term the price and what you can expect. So in the end, it's like everything that you want to invest on, you got to understand the risks behind it, the volatility behind it. But once you write it and you understand, then you know what? You reduce the risk, right? You live in a comfortable way, knowing what to expect, and forget about the FUD and the uncertainty that some news may create. And because the fundamentals, you understand the underlying technology behind it and where it's all the vision coming. So that's exactly what gets addressed in our workshops, and that's why we build it from the ground up, right? Like we're not building on the headlines, we're building on solid foundation. Again, the how-tos, how blockchain works. So you understand, we do exercises, we go into Bitcoin, Ethereum, we go into ICOs, understanding them, how to know which ones have more probability that will make it,
of course,
right? And so with that, you can make better decisions, right? You're more informed about the decisions and not just rely on what the mass media is saying, right? Unfortunately, when Bitcoin was launched, and there is an article also that you can read in how many times Bitcoin has been claimed dead, right?
Right.
And it's because the massive banks and governments are against it, of course, because it's something so new that if they acknowledge it, of course, that more people would flock to.
Of course, yeah.
So the only way to really minimize the impact is saying, you know what, it's drug dealers, it is, it's for shady and questionable business practices, but that's not the case, right? Because everything is right, it's written in the blockchain, so you can go and track every transaction from inception, right. Where it's coming, where is the money coming and going, everything is digital. So truly, once you understand it, like all these shady transactions and drug dealers and everything, they're still using the plain old hard cash, right? Like that's the way. Like no trail, leave no trail.
Yeah.
But with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, you leave trail, man. Like it's all.
This is interesting stuff.